Welcome to Positive Energy with Crystals. My name's Hillary, and as you can see, we're doing something a little different today. We've got an oracle deck here. This is the Crystal Wisdom Healing Oracle by Judy. This is my very first, I think it's my very first divination deck. It's what helped me learn divination. It helped me learn how to ask the questions, how to interpret the answers, how to do layouts. Now, I am still a very, very novice card reader, especially tarot. So this deck was there when I was trying to figure things out. You know, focusing on learning the tarot meanings and how to work with decks. I think this helped me separate that. So this helped me learn how to work with the decks while I kept this. Then I could focus on the meanings of the tarot cards. You know, how do I want to explain it? So I think it helped me learn faster. So I have had a lot of questions about the crystal themed oracle decks and which ones I recommend and all that. Now, this is the only one I currently own. Well, technically I have one in the mailbox that I need to go get, and then one that should be here pretty soon. So technically I own 3, but this is the only one I've got in my hands right now. I've had this one for a long time. Now, when we started the process of moving into the camper, I wanted to save room. So I put all my decks, at least I think I put all my decks, into bags. And, which is fine, it did help. But this deck needs to stay in its box. Now, I've messed with it quite a bit, but you can still see the bow. Earlier, the bow was really, really bad. But I've been, you know, shuffling it and kind of bending it back and stuff. And that is, I think the problem is it's got this silver gilding that is really, really pretty. But it makes it hard to shuffle, and I don't know if it's just that I don't think the card stock is that thick, but it just makes it a pain to shuffle. And I don't bridge it because of that bow. I just shuffle, and that's it, to help with that bow, and that has helped. Now, I haven't really messed with this deck in quite a few months. And so when I picked it up, it was super, super bowed. So when we finally get our house and can unpack, as soon as I find the box for this deck, because I kept it, it's just stored away because I wanted to make room, I'm going to put this deck back in its box because it never used to do that, but it's really bad. And I know I've seen some people will sand the gilding off the deck if they've got a gilding that they don't like. I think I'm still a little too nervous and a big chicken about doing that. But I may at some point do that because I hate the gilding. And then the backs are so boring. It's just, I hate the backs. Now, another thing, so I've had this deck forever. I've kind of created my own way of using it. So the book, there's a lot of information in here I don't use. And another thing I don't use is see how it's got the different colored borders? I don't use what the borders are supposed to represent. I think it tells up here somewhere. There. So the purple ones are earthy. The turquoise ones are healing. Pinkish purple is cosmic. grayish blue is integration, and the green is interactive. I don't do anything with that, so the borders are kind of actually distracting to me. Now, when Judy Hall was creating the deck, her main focus was the photography. She wanted to make it, when I've watched the videos where she explains this, she wanted to make it so that, oh, look at that blue lace agate. It is so pretty. Anyway, she wanted to make it so that you could use this card instead of the crystal. So if you don't have that crystal, don't have access to that crystal, or if you're traveling and don't want to have a bunch of crystals in your pocket, you could use these cards. And I think she accomplished that. And I've done a video where I walk through this deck. It has been a long time ago. It was before, or I know I was still in the house when I recorded it. And I know it was still kept in its box, and I know it was kind of bowing at that point too. But having it in the box definitely helps. Anyway, I was going to use it for this deck for this channel for times that like I didn't have a specific crystal, but I wanted to share that it was good for something specific. I've actually never done that, and I think my channel is 4 years old now, and so I've never used it. My collection has gotten bigger, like the Herkimer diamond. I now have that. I don't need that the card. Now there's some like the Quantum Quattro, which I think would be a really pretty crystal to get. I don't have that, but I don't know that I've ever really needed it either. So this is pretty much stayed a divination deck. I love Mookaite. I need to do a video on that. Another thing I really don't like about this deck, it is so glossy. You know, I don't show decks on my channel much. Now I'm going to start doing the crystal themed ones, but it is, even just sitting there looking at it myself without light and camera and everything, it is a glossy deck. So if you have trouble, well, I guess it depends on what kind of trouble you have with glossy decks. If you're not needing to look at the fine details of something, I think you'd be okay with this deck. But if glossiness just messes with you and you can't deal with it, then you've probably already stopped watching this video. But the photography is so great. It's so amazing. Now the way I use this, how do I explain it? I don't pair it with anything like another tarot deck, or I don't have a lot of decks anyway. And for a long time, this was my only oracle deck. For a long time, it was. And I don't feel that not that it won't pair with anything. I just feel like it does its own thing, and it's what she describes in the book isn't how I really use it. And she does explain where you can use them for crystal grids and stuff like that. And there's a lot of information. Oh, and chakra stuff. And she goes through the full, where it's up above your head and down below you, starting with stellar gate. Well, I don't think I've ever heard of stellar gateway. I've no soul star down to earth star, but I don't use her book for what it's used. I don't use the cards how she designed it. I use it as I need just like a little bit of advice, or maybe a pep talk. I think a pep talk is a good way to describe what I use it for. And I don't it's kind of hard to explain exactly what I go. It's more of like, well, the pep talk. That's exactly how I would describe it. And I really haven't used it much lately, but, and actually for shuffling, side shuffling, it actually works better because they are so glossy, and the gilding kind of helps you hold on to it. So okay, let me show you how I would do something. So I pretty much only pull one card from it now, like an advice type card. When I was first learning how to do work with cards, I would do a full spread with it, and because I'm so connected with crystals, it helped me understand how to interpret everything. So that was great. Now when I use this deck, it's more of, well, like I said, a pep talk. So it may be something that let's see, today is a Thursday, so I don't want to do like an advice for the week. Let's just say, what advice do I need for the weekend? And now, also, I know people that, you shuffle and whatever jumps out. Hardly anything ever jumps out of this deck. So what I do is I just go until I feel like it's shuffle. Oh, that one almost jumped out. That was funny. It was going to make me a liar. Until I feel, what advice do I need for this weekend? That one almost jumped out too. It's totally going to make me a liar. And then once I feel like I've shuffled enough, then I cut the deck in half. Put the top on the bottom. And so Nirvana quartz. Now, it's got a number. It's not an alphabetical order in the book, but it is numbered, which makes it really handy. And especially because it's in different sections. So Nirvana quartz. The main key word is enlightenment. Nirvana quartz assists in stepping off the karmic wheel, bringing light and bliss consciousness. Now it's got a self-understanding, a divination, healing insight, meanings, and then it also has frequency, what chakra it's good for, the timing, and soul path. I don't know that I've ever paid attention to these bottom four things. I use like the top part. So what advice? I would say I'm using it as a divination question. So divination, what advice do I need for this weekend? Step off the karmic round and allow the karma of grace to manifest. Open yourself to receiving enlightenment. Recognize this is a new beginning and fresh energy. If you are experiencing traumatic times and soul changes, relax and wait for resolution. Do not push against the river, go with the flow. Okay then. Nothing from that really resonates with me. So I might go to self-understanding. For many lifetimes, you have been working with your karma that has now passed. This is no need for restitution, nor punishment or guilt. Let those go so that you recognize your full potential, receiving a download of cosmic light that transforms your being. Okay, if it still doesn't resonate, then maybe I'll go to the healing insight. Karma is created in each moment by every thought and deed. Uplifting thoughts and positive actions ensure your future well-being. Okay, so that one kind of resonates. So in this case, I'm asking it a divination type question, what advice do I need for the weekend? But it's giving me a healing answer. So I kind of take that as I need some healing advice for the weekend. So it may be I just need to stay positive and be positive about the future. And so that it may mean that I'm going to get frustrated this weekend about something, usually something to do about where we're living, not just living in the camper, but the RV park that we're in. And so that kind of hits. So I understand now. And that happens a lot. That I may ask like a self-confidence, self-healing, self-love type question, and I'll leave. So I would say that would be under the self-understanding or healing, but usually I go to self-understanding first. And it may be completely off, and I'll go to the divination, and it makes sense. I just keep reading until something kind of hits and resonates with me and makes sense. And even though it all three of those, it talked about karma, it was just worded in a way that made sense to me. And that's how I learned kind of to interpret tarot meanings and other oracle decks, is by just going through those three sections. Alright, air conditioner break. I can't remember what I was talking about because that was a long air conditioner break. So anyway, that's how I use this deck. I don't think it's really the way Judy Hall intended it, but it's what works for me, and it's how I became comfortable with reading cards and all that. So now this has been my go-to for years. Like I said, it's my deep connection deck. It's helped me through some stuff. It's gotten me through some stuff. It's cheered me on. It's my emotional support deck. I don't want to compare the other decks to this deck, but I know it's going to happen. There's no way around it, because this has been the answer to what crystal themed oracle deck should I use. This has been the answer for, I don't even remember how long, at least 4 years, probably closer to 5 or 6. And it's been a good deck. And like I said, I don't want to compare other decks to it, but it's going to happen because of my connection to it. So now I'm not just going to do, when the decks come or when I go get them, I'm going to work with them each for a while. I know one, I can't think of what either one of them are called right now. I think one had the information written on the deck, and then one has hexagon shapes, and it's more set up like you create a crystal grid. I'm really excited about that one. That one doesn't come till later, so I'll start with the other one first. But it's going to be interesting, and I'm excited to work with other decks. These two decks coming were on like some big markdown. I've seen one of them, people recommend it once in a while. The other one I haven't seen on anything. So it'll be interesting, because I've never even thought about getting another crystal deck, and I don't understand why. I guess because I've had such a strong connection, then I'm worried that I'm not going to use those other decks. But we'll see. If I ended up not liking them, maybe I'll give them away. If I love them, then maybe I'll keep them forever. But this one definitely is, this one stays. And just so you know too, I believe my edition is the first edition, and I think on the second edition they changed the backs. I'm not positive though, but I know there's 2 editions of this deck now. And they changed something. I think it still has the annoying gilding, but it seems like they changed the backs and like did something with the photography or something. I don't remember. It's been a long time since I've researched them. So that's all I got. If you got any questions about this deck, let me know. Or if you've got any recommendations of a deck that you want to see me do, let me know that too. I've got a bunch on my wish list. I don't know which ones to choose from, and I don't want to spend a lot of money on a bunch of decks that I don't know if I'm going to use either. So we'll see how it goes. But if you got any questions, recommendations, let me know, and I will see you next time.